elaborate sidebars that let you turn WordPress into more of a CMS. And he was wondering if there's any plans to offer premium things like that, and including if that costs more because of the added complexity.
So it's not, honestly, right now, if you want something like a very CMS-like site, you're probably better off going with WordPress.org because you have the flexibility of plugins and everything like that, and you have full control. The process for adding themes to WordPress.com is fairly arbitrary. It does something like, well, that's a cool theme, and then, at some point within the next 1 to 8 months, someone goes through the process of sort of checking out all the code and everything, and improving it, and then putting it on WordPress.com, which is why we don't add as many themes as I would like to. Hopefully that's changing though, because I feel like, well, there's so many amazing free themes available. There's no reason there shouldn't be hundreds of them available on WordPress.com, just like there are for WordPress.org. We just need to streamline the process a little bit more of sort of auditing and improving that code to bring it in.
Okay, so there was a second part to that question, and it revolves around.
This guy's good.
Yeah, he wrote it. It was a lot longer than what I'm saying here. He really wrote a long essay about it. Tags on WordPress.com. Right now, when you click on a tag, it leads you to the global use of that tag among all of WordPress.com. And he was wondering, to him, that is the one thing making him want to switch away to his own self-hosted version, but he would rather give you money. So he's wondering why it's not an option to have your tags featured just your post, and if that could be a premium feature that would require credits.
Well, it's interesting because the whole idea behind the tag pages on WordPress.com was to connect people. Because, the whole blogs, WordPress blogs are very much like an island, right? Like you're not very well connected to the other blogs or bloggers talking about the things that you're talking about. So the idea behind tags was I wanted to create a way to take people on disparate blogs who might not even know about each other. They don't know about each other, talking about the same thing and connect them. It's been super successful, and in fact, it's one of the more popular features on WordPress.com because it drives a lot of traffic to different blogs. But like you said, some people don't like it. It's not going to be a premium upgrade to turn it off. We just need to get around to adding an option for people to have it on and off. Because, in the beginning it was good to bootstrap it, default it to on, so that way everyone sort of figured out what they were and saw and got involved with the community. But now, it's probably not as important to have that be a force option.
Okay, that's great. I'm sure Alexander would be happy to hear that. He proposed a model like Flickr, where you see the tag, and then next to it is the little globe that says, the globe show you the tag, or everyone sees this tag. So.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things I'm trying to figure out there. One is how to make the tag pages a lot cooler. Basically, because right now there's sort of like a list of posts, which is the most boring thing in the world. Even though they drive a lot of traffic and everything, I'd love to bring in more images and video and all the cool stuff that people are doing in their posts into those pages, so they have more like a magazine-like layout rather than just looking like a search result, which is silly. And two, I don't know the best way to do whether we should do Flickr style as a globe and tagging, whether it should be an option, or whether. So those are sort of the initial blocks to actually implementing this new thing.
Okay. Are people putting up their hands yet? It just, I have some more, but people need to
Taking a question from the crowd.
Okay.
Any specific questions
Okay.
around?
Keep thinking, guys.
Yeah. Okay, there's one in the back here. Just wait, I'll come with the mic so everyone.
So while that's happening now, Martin Lessard said, as weblogs are seen as like an identity on the web, why isn't WordPress pushing harder in the direction of identity management?
I suppose it depends on what you mean by identity management. I would suspect from the tenor of the question that he's referring to OpenID, OAuth, and all these sorts of things, and why or why not those are in core. But in just terms of the concept of identity management, I have profiles on Flickr, Facebook, MySpace, and all these things, but really my best profile of mine is my blog. One thing I would like to see more of is just an easier way to aggregate everything I'm doing around the web into one place, which is my blog. Because then I can take all these sort of data silos, places where my data is locked up under someone else's terms of service and host like OAuth and OpenID, particularly OAuth, we're going to support in core at some point. OpenID we've supported experimentally as a plugin on WordPress.com. It doesn't get a ton of usage, and I'm not sure if OpenID will be as important in terms of authentication and everything else moving forward, because now there's just more elegant means of doing it, like OAuth.
Okay, so quick question. Upgrading WordPress almost always seems to break a lot of plugins. Is there something more proactive that you've done around that?
Yes.
Okay.
So, plugins that use the API should never break. So we spend a lot of time working on compatibility and everything like that. But sometimes it's not even API things. So for example, in 2.8, to improve the speed of WordPress, we changed how the JavaScript loaded and everything like that. And it turns out that that conflicts with how a lot of the plugins are making assumptions on how to do JavaScript. And some of them were just dumping code in the page, and it even broke one of our own plugins, which is kind of embarrassing. It intends to be a plugin, just the way to do it. So what we're looking at is, well, there's two things. One, I think when you're upgrading, it should check all your plugins and be like, this works, this doesn't. Right? And that just makes sense. Why else do you have an upgrade? And the model for the whole upgrade model has always been Firefox, right? And I love how Firefox does that. You're upgrading, it says, this is going to work, there's updates available for this, and this doesn't work, so we're going to disable it, right? You just go on, and then, a week later, it notifies you there's an update for the thing that didn't work, and you're done. That's how I want the WordPress plugin system to work. In terms of being more proactive, what we're doing is spending a lot more time to sort of the top plugins, because the very top 20, 30, 40 plugins make up maybe hundreds, if not millions of installs, like of people using plugins. And so problems felt there cause more confusion. Like what's a plugin that's broken for you before? Postmaster. Alright, well, if you're using a popular plugin, I'm kidding. But, we can try them out. And also, if we can either submit a patch to the plugin author. Some popular plugins aren't really actively maintained anymore, but it's sort of in the community repository, so if we needed to, we could push an update for it, things like that. But what would help the most is just more testing. The last beta and release cycle, we had thousands of testers, but apparently those thousands of testers didn't run that many plugins. Probably because they were developers, right? They run most of their own plugins. Like, I don't run a ton of plugins. Well, I'm getting more plugins. Because if I really like a feature, I just put it in WordPress. It's kind of cheating. But not everyone can do that. So we need more people testing the beta and release candidates. In fact, there's a new way. There's a flag you can put in your config file to actually get upgrade notifications and automatic upgrades of betas and release candidates. By the time something gets to sort of release candidate, it's pretty stable. And I actually upgrade my blog every single night. I have a SPN up that runs. So literally every morning at 5 a.m. If you ever see my blog down, it's probably because of that. But it only happens like once every 2 or 3 months. And that's just one bleeding edge code, not even beta release candidate. So it's pretty safe to test betas. And so I encourage everyone here to try it out. One, because it gets you cool features before all your friends. And then you can sort of, ooh, I got this new feature. And they'll be jealous. And two, it's a great way to sort of get back to the community without needing so anything about code or anything like that. Really, just a data point, this broke is very useful.